Good evening, everyone. I'm Ike Motivate, and this is WebDat 2.0 with Victor Okoye. And this is a live webinar for web design and development startup for people who are interested to know what it is in this space and if it is something for them, right? So we're going to go through the basics of web design and development. I'm giving an example, and I'm talking about the systems, how it works, what are the opportunities, how much you can earn, and yeah, that's it basically. And we also have a free package for those of you who stay to the end. So let me just go and let's start with the prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for the grace of this. Thank you, Lord, I pray that everyone who come on this call, your light to be shared on them in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, and they receive you with open arms. And thank you for the opportunity of granting me worthy to host this program. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. All right. So the table of content, we're going to say who we are, what WebDat is, what is web design and development and how it works, who's web design and development meant for in 2023, what are the earning potentials, what are the requirements for startup, is web design and development easy or hard, how soon can I begin to convert new jobs, is web design and development scalable. So like I said, I'm Ike Motivate. I'm a digital designer, a digital marketer, a writer, and I'm here with Victor Okoye. He's also the same, and a legendary programmer. And WebDat, Web Design and Development, is a course guide and mentorship program for people who want to make money online using the basics of online money making, which is web design and development, right? So like I mentioned earlier, this is the flyer of the free gift I talked about for people who stay to the end. It's a 9 digital skills access manual, which includes branding, UI UX, graphic design, video editing, motion graphics, 2D animation, 3D animation, and more. So let's get started. So what is web design and development? In simple terms, web design and development simply refers to the process of creating a functional website, right? And I'll give the illustration of the building. Well, let's assume that right now I have 150 million naira and I'm ready to get my house. So the first thing I'm going to get is the location where I want my house to be, right? And when it comes to web design and development, that is called the domain name, right? And there are different types of domain name. An example is google.com or mywebsite.com, whatever it is. That's a domain name. So an address is called a domain name. And I'll just quickly show an instance of my website, themotivateworld.com, right? This is the domain name as it is. So there are different types of domain names and different levels of domain. They are what they call sub-level domains. And I'll show that later on in this course program. So the next thing you need after you have a location, which is your domain name, you need a land, right? And when it comes to web design and development, we call that hosting, right? And there are different host providers. Sorry about that. The most popular are Bluehost and Hostinger and the rest of that. And I'll also give an illustration of that later on. And finally, you need the constructor of the house, right? The builder, the architect, whatever it is. And that, when it comes to web design and development, that is you, the web designer and developer. So right now, who's web design and development meant for in 2023? It's meant for people with foresight who are determined to make money using the online market, right? Please kindly mute when you join the meeting. It's meant for people who are planning to escape or support their 9-to-5 jobs, right? It's meant for a person who wants to enjoy flexibility of work, either as a contract staff, a hybrid worker, or freelancer, and earn and work remotely. Praise God. So right now, the next question is, what are the earning potentials? What are the earning potentials? So let's just I have an instance that I can quickly show you when it comes to the earning potentials. Okay, please kindly mute when you join the meeting. Please kindly mute. Kindly mute yourself, please. Okay. So how much does a web designer and developer earn per year? This is $78,300. Who has an idea of how much a dollar costs right now? Who has an idea of how much a dollar costs right now? I think the last time I checked, it was 750, right? So let's do 750 times 70. Is it 73,200? This is 54 million naira 900. So estimatedly, if you're positioned right, you can actually earn up to 54 million naira a year as a web designer and developer. And this is not bad at all, right? And something else I also like to include with this research is how many domain names are registered every day. So let me start with every day, right? So on an average, there's about 33,000 domain names registered every day. This means that there are 33,000 opportunities for people to be able to build a website for a client every day. So when you start, you may start as yourself, but you may grow to become a web design and development enterprise or company. And then you may be able to collect, let's say, 15 to 20 of these requests online every day. And how does this work? This works by positioning, right? It works by positioning. And to further go deeper on this, let's do every year so that you know that this research is or let's do every month, right? So every month there's about 1 million, right? So if every day is about 33,000, there's about 1 million domain names registered every month. So this just proves that this research is quite accurate for the need of websites. So many companies, they are looking to register websites every single day. So it's possible for you to hit that 54 million every year. And somewhere around here, I'm supposed to show my own testimonial about this. Maybe, okay, maybe later in the replay video, you won't be able to see many of these, right? Because I have some private information. So I'll definitely highlight that away so that people will not come and look for my daddy. Okay, so this is last year from November 2021 to April 2022, and this is my statement of account. This is my name here, and you can see the total credit here. You can see it's 2,125,000, and I got this from doing all online jobs using a combination of digital marketing and web design and development and many of these others. That got me to that amount of 2 million. And I think it's a good place to start coming from 2019, not knowing anybody or knowing anything or having anyone to guide me. So definitely this is proof positive that this space is highly profitable, right? So what are the requirements to start right now? I've said a lot of nice things. So what do you need to start right now? You just need your laptop or your desktop. You need an internet connection. You need integrated development environment. When I started, I didn't have all the data. All I was doing was to wake up at the midnight and just do the MTN night plan, 2 gig, and whatever I'm able to achieve that midnight. That was enough for me to, that was a day well spent or an early morning well spent. And I did that for about 3 months and I got up to 7 digital skills consistently. There was a stern hunger. So the requirements, you need a laptop, a desktop, an internet connection, you need an ID or a content management system. And when it comes to being a constructor for a house, the constructor needs his tools, right? Your tool may be the blocks, the cement, and all of that. And that is what IDE and CMS are, and we'll expatiate on that going forward. Then you need proper training, guide, and dedication, right? And I talked about that. And I also talked about positioning, which is one of the most important things, because you can actually know these skills and master them and be a god or a genius at it, but no jobs are coming your way because you're not positioned right. And then you need a serene space to work, of course. So now I talked about IDE and CMS, which is the integrated development environment, right? And the content management system, right? Which are two different web builders that are popular in the market right now. And like I said, yeah, web design and development can be easy for some people, hard for some people, very fast for some people, and laborious for some others. The difference is the guide. And that's why we're going to show an illustration with this integrated development environment and content management system. So at this point, I'm going to call on my colleague, Victor Okoye, for us a quick example, building a live website using the IDE, which is the integrated development environment. Victor, you're welcome. You can take the floor. God bless you.
All right. So, first of all, my colleague here, I have spoken about some few things already. Said some few things about web development. What is web development? So I wouldn't like to go into that. So I would like to go into straight into what we have. So basically, these are the I'm going to go into the three building blocks of web development. So, but before I go into that, he made mention of all you need to get started, which is just a laptop and a phone and an IDE, and then an internet connection and browser. So these are the four basic things you need to go into web development as a whole. So now the building blocks of web development are just three basic things. These are the basic things that you need to get into web development. There are no much things involved, just these three basic things, three basic building blocks. So now the first one is HTML, the second one is CSS, and the third one is JavaScript. Now these are used to build websites, that is to make websites that users can visit at any time. So this is what we call HTML is what we call a markup language. It's used to add content on the web, while CSS is the style sheet that styles the presentation, that is styles the content that we have added. And then the JavaScript is the behavioral pattern of the website. That is when the users interact with it, users click on the button, and maybe try to log in and all that. So that's it. So let's quickly go into what is HTML in full. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, so which is used to add contents on a website, making use of tags and elements. So this is just a markup language. It's not actually a programming language. It's just a markup language that is used to add content to the web. So if you are with me, please say hi.
Hi. Hi.
All right, okay. So now let's go into the next one. So which is CSS. CSS stands for, the full meaning for that is Cascade Style Sheet, which is used to style or design the way a website should look and feel to an end user. So this is just the styling the presentation, like I said in the previous slide. So the next one now is what we have JavaScript. It's now the main programming language. It's not a style sheet. It's not a markup language. It's the main programming language that helps us build websites. So it's actually now let's get started with it. So let's talk about what we use writing this particular writing the building blocks or building writing the building blocks. Now things that with a particular IDE, we call it an IDE. The full meaning is integrated development environment. It's, or maybe some people you hear them call it text editor. So this is what we use in building a website. It helps us, the computer, to interpret what we do. I don't know if you understand me, but I'm going to go deep into it when I show you in detail. So now, if you want to use the same IDE I'm using, you can go to this link here that is showing on your screen, this one, and you can download it on your system, or you can go on your mobile phone and you can still get it. So, but let me just go to the link. So if you just type on Google VS Code and you go to the link, it's going to take you here, and you can go to download for Windows, and then you can just download it. But I'm not going to download it because I already have it on my system. But once you download it, it's going to download the one for your operating system if you're using Windows, Mac, or Linux. So, but then if you don't have access to a PC and you want to follow online immediately, you can use this particular website here. It's called JSB. So JSB allows you to write same HTML. You can write your CSS, you can write your JavaScript. But I would always advise you go with this because this is what I will use now. So, but basically, let me just open my IDE. I already have it. When you install it, this is what you will see on your system here. So I'm going to just go to my desktop, and I'm going to just create a folder. I just want you to follow me now very briefly. So I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call it webdad or something. Webdad, yeah. So I'm going to open this folder now. So you can see what I did was I went to file and I went to open folder, and I was able to open this folder. So I'm going to click on this icon here to create a file, index.html. So this means that I've created an HTML file, and I'm also going to create my style.css, and I'm also going to create my app or my main.js. So now these are the three files or the three building blocks we talked about in code now, like real life. So it's not just the presentation now or a slide, it's now live. You can see my HTML, you can see my JavaScript, you can see my style sheet here, which is CSS. So I'm going to create my first HTML or our first HTML code, which is like our website. So I'm going to just create it. Now, how I created this particular thing, it comes with VS Code. If you hold Shift and you hold and then if you hold your Shift on your laptop or your PC, and then you click on exclamation mark, it's going to come up, and then you hit enter, and then it's going to bring out this building block. This is what we call a boilerplate, an HTML boilerplate. So like a structure, basic structure of HTML. Because of time, I won't go over all of them, but just understand that this is the basic structure of an HTML. So now let me just create a tag, because remember in one of our slides here, I said something about tags here. I stand for hypertext markup language, which is used to add content on a website, making use of tags and elements. So what I just created now is a tag. This particular thing here is a tag. So this H1 is a tag. We have a lot of tags. We have the button tag, which is when you come to a website, you see things like a button that when you click on it, it will do this. So this is how it's being created. So this is a tag. So I can just write my H1 tag, hello world. Because of time, I might not go over all this, but I'm going to make it understandable as possible. So for me to open this on my browser now, I can do it in two ways, but I will choose to do it this way because it's faster. So I'm going to right click now, but not everybody will have this feature if you just install VS Code on your system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go down and then go back to my desktop and open this file here now. So you can see here that we have our code here, or our file now opened on the browser. So that means that our website is up and running. People can actually see this if it's being hosted with a domain name. People can come and see this. So now going over to the styling part, let me link the CSS. So style.css. So I'm going to link it up now. I've linked it, or rather, I think, yeah. So now I'm going to style this H1. So I told you that CSS is a style sheet that allows us style. So I'm going to say that the color is red. So whenever I make changes, I save it. Now, when I come back and I refresh this, you can see that we have a color red of this particular text here. You can give it a background color of blue. Let us say blue. And then we can give it a color of white now. And with this now, if you refresh, we see this, and we can even align it to the center. We can say text align center, and it's in the center now. So you can see it's in the center right now. So this is how it works, and this is what HTML and CSS can do. You can see that we used HTML to add this content. If I want to add more content, like something like an H2 again, and then I can say, hello, it's me. So I'm going to refresh, so you can see that another content have been added. And if I wish, I can still come here and select the content that I added, which is the tag, and I can still style it to blue, the color, and you can see it's now blue, and I can still take it to the center if I want. So this is what CSS can do. So let's go over JavaScript. So let's quickly go over. Now you can see it's at the center. So let's go over JavaScript. So for JavaScript, we have to use the script tag and then link it to our file like this. So right now, I've just linked this particular file we have here, main.js. So we linked it to our HTML. So what it means is now I have my script linked to this file. So now if I create a button, for example, if you go to a website and then they have a button that says login, for example. So now I just added this button. So you can see the button here now. So now, if, for example, now I want this button to do something. Now, as it stands, if I click on this button, nothing happens. There's no behavior, there's no interaction between me and this button or this website as a whole. So I can't log in. But now I want to add interactivity. That's where JavaScript comes in. So I just have to go in, and then I will add something that will call an attribute to this button. You can even add it to any element. It's just a specific reference to this element. So you can say btn, meaning button, just in short form. So I'm going to say create a variable. So in JavaScript, to create a variable, you need to use this keyword called constant. So it's a constant variable. So I'm going to say, because it's not going to change, I'm going to say document dot get elements by ID. Remember that what we added here was an ID attribute, a specific reference, which is an ID, which is a unique ID. So I'm going to call this btn, and I'm going to say btn or button dot add event list. Now I'm calling an event, an interaction on this button now with the user using it, which is me for now. So I'm now going to say on click of this button, that is when someone peradventure clicks on it to log in, I want it to do something for me. So when the user clicks on it to log in, I want it to alert something to me. So I want it to alert you are now logged in. Sorry about typo. So you are now logged in. That is what I want this to do for me. So now let me just go back, and now before, when I click on it, nothing happens. Now when I click on it, you see there's an interaction now, and there's an alert pop-up here that is telling me that you are now logged in, and I can just click OK. Whenever I click on that button, this thing happens. So this is just how it works. I cannot do this with CSS. I cannot do it with HTML. I can only do this thing with JavaScript. So it handles the interactivity between the user and the website. And meanwhile, the HTML handles the content adding on the website. And then the CSS actually styles the presentation, how you want it to look, how you want it to look. That's all. So thank you guys. At this point, I will be handing over back to my colleague. Hi.
So he just talked about the IDE, which has been the traditional, the initial way of building a website, right? And I'm going to show you the CMS way, which is content management systems. And what content management systems, they are just like a template, right? So he made an instance of when he pressed like apostrophe, and then there was like an autocomplete of the sentence, right? So what CMS has done is to create an open source where developers have come to template many of everything that he just did basically from the scratch. So instead of you to start doing everything from the scratch, you just actually put in, just go and click on it like a website. And I'm going to show you an example right now. All right. So please, can you confirm if you see my screen now? Can see my screen? I really do appreciate. So, all right. Thank you very much. So, all right. So there are two popular CMS. There's the WordPress.com and the WordPress.org. The WordPress.org is the corporate one where individuals come and then they get their domain and hosting, and they want to independently have full control of their site and build a website from scratch without having to go through the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that my brother Victor just showed us. So I'm going to do an example using the WordPress.com. The WordPress.com is the free version, but it's highly limiting. But some people use this to just maybe do an academic work. Let's say maybe you're in the UK and then they just ask you, okay, and just do a prototype of a website, like not really what, like maybe a company like maybe Google or Facebook will come and hire you and say, okay, we need a website that sells a microphone or something. You wouldn't want to use this WordPress.com. You want to use either the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, or you can use WordPress.org, which is what I used to build my website right here, themotivateworld.com. So I'll just do an instance and you will see that there are great similarities between my website, which is built with WordPress.org, and the one which is built with WordPress.com. This is the back end, right? And this is where I go to make posts, I add medias, I add new pages, I observe the comments, and then a lot of plugins which allow me to monetize my blog, create pretty links, and make money with my blog actually, because this WordPress.com is highly limiting and you can't actually make money in ways that are automated, the way that you can just lay back and you just receive a notification that, oh, someone just made a purchase of your product, and it just goes straight into your account. So, but nevertheless, some people might just need something basic, maybe for a portfolio. So let's just build a website with WordPress.com. So I just click get started right here. Next thing is to just use one of my emails to just log in right here. So many of the processes are quite automated. So now they ask me to choose my domain name. Like I told you, a domain name is the location, right? And the location of my website is themotivateworld.com. That's my domain name. So this free WordPress.com CMS is asking me what domain name do I want to use. So I want to do an instance of a real estate website, right? So they are showing me that to get a domain and a domain name, it costs $19 per year. And how much is $19 per year for a .com domain name? Like I told you before, $19, let's make an instance, 19 times 750. This is 14,000 naira. But if we go to the WordPress.org, which is the corporate one, and you want to get a domain name, it happens to be that for the first year you might be getting it free, right? And then subsequently in the years to come, you get it for $12, which is way more cheaper, right, than the $14. So this is just an instance. This is why it's important for you to have a guide, because by the time I was creating my first website, I didn't really see this. When you go to their website, and which is popular among all of them, you can just do a research and say domain name providers, the top 10, they list it for you, and you go to their website. They are mostly quite tricky, right? So they say start at $2.95 per month, right? So you'll be thinking, oh, per month, and this is how it's going to be for every year. But then you will not read this part which is under, which says regularly $10, $10.99, which is also way cheaper than the $14 that this WordPress.com, because you can actually build a dummy website with this WordPress.com. But then when you feel like, oh, this website is doing a lot and you want to make it a standard .com domain, which I didn't explain to you. I said there are two types of domain names. There are the .com and .org. Okay, these are top level domain names, while there are some that have .something, which is the one they are providing for us, which is a subdomain, right? So the one that they are giving us free is realhomes07.wordpress.com. They are not allowing me to change it or design it. If I want to go for the free one, this is what I must take. And that's what I'm going to take right now. So I'll just select this. So like I mentioned earlier in my presentation, I said when you want to build a website, you need the domain, which I just showed you now, and how much it costs, about $14 or 14,000 naira a year. And then you need the land, which is the hosting, right? Which in simple terms, it is where your files, like all these, my pictures and all my books and everything, these are where the files live online. So it's just like Google Drive, right? You can save some, it's just like a cloud hosting, for instance. So when you want to build a website for your client, you tell the client, okay, the domain name costs $14 and the hosting cost about $30, which is about $50. And then you're charging maybe $200 as your service charge. That's $250. So you tell the client that, oh, the domain and the hosting is renewed every year. And they all know, many of them, they do their research before they come to you, right? So I wouldn't go further on that. I'll just continue with the course program. So now we've gotten the free domain name, right? And now they are telling us about the hosting. And I said $35, right? I said $35 for the hosting. But with this WordPress.com again, you see they are also on the high part again. They're saying for a personal hosting, which is for just one website, this is $4 per month and $48 annually. You see, so I was saying 35 and about 15, which is about 15, but this is 48. From 35 to 48, that's an additional $10, which is a lot, right? So what's the name of this popular blog? Linda Ikeji. Her blog started with a WordPress.com, but she upscaled it she started with this free WordPress.com, and she paid all of these high payments to upgrade her blog to the extent that she can monetize it anyhow she likes. So she just paid all of this to make her blog just like my own, like this. But then because she started with the WordPress.com, she's paying higher. So this is written in quite small, hard for people to see. So with this WordPress.com, you can actually get the free hosting too. You can see, or start with free. So let's just start with free, right? And so now I've gotten my domain name for free and my hosting for free with WordPress.com. So it's just processing. Okay, so they're asking me, what are your goals? Tell us what you like to accomplish with your site. I would say I would like to write and publish. I would like to promote myself for business, and I would like to sell online. And I'll just click continue. See what is the category. I'll look for real estate here, and I'll choose real estate. What's site name? Let's just say real homes and a tagline. Homes for kings and queens, right? So I've started building my website like this, right? And then instead of me to start with the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I can start with a template. Remember, I told you WordPress.com and WordPress.org, they try to imitate an open source system, which means that many people have come to create this website templates at the back end. So all you just need to do is to just click like a template and then just get started. So let's just show this instance of a store, right? Let's say I want to create a store with this WordPress.com. So I would have just clicked unlock theme. But now they are telling me this theme comes bundled with WooCommerce plugin. Upgrade to a business plan to select this theme and unlock its features. Is $300, right? And it could be that Linda Ikeji is paying this amount to access this WooCommerce, right? So when you're done getting your domain name and hosting, you're now asked to pay another $300, which is outrageous. Why using my own? I don't need to pay that, which is the WordPress.org. So if you want to be a professional web designer and developer, and let's say you want to you want to build stuff fast as maybe as your selling point, you can actually use CMS, and then we encourage that you use the WordPress.org. Remember, WordPress.org. So let's say I want that plugin, that WooCommerce, which is what allows us to sell, right? Is the plugin that allows you to integrate payment methods, right? For this, you have to pay an additional $300, but using the WordPress, I'm just showing you because actually I want you to be able to actually build your own website by yourself. So let's say WooCommerce, right? WooCommerce. So you see, this is installed right now, which means I don't have to pay any money for this. And these are other plugins that I can integrate that comes to payments, affiliate marketing, content marketing, and you can just install now for all of them. So what it would have taken Victor, let's say, because Victor is really good, let's say 4 days or 5 days to create out of the box, I can just click install now and have that integrated with my site. That's why I said for web design and development, it is fast for some people, it is slow for some people, it is automated for some people, and it is manual for some people, right? So let's just go straight into the course program. So for this, I can't use this. So let's just use something else. Let me just go to blog, and then let me look for the one that is also free, because with this, there are a lot of free stuffs. Okay, let me go to business, right? Since I'm talking business right here. So let me just pick this first one, which is Pendant, which is free. So Pendant free right now. So they are showing me what it already looks like out of the box without anything. This is the home page already, real homes, right? So instead of me writing the H1 tag, the H2 tags, the calling tags, and all of that, I already have this out of the box to start with and to start editing. And this is how it looks on laptop, how it looks on tabs, this is how it looks on mobile phone. So it means that out of the box, these templates come out mobile responsive, which is good, right? So I just click continue. And then if you notice right here, you see a dashboard that is similar to the one I talked about with WordPress.org, which is my own website, the back end. You can see that they are quite similar, right? Which just shows that they are like the same company or organization. But then many of these, many stuff that you can get freely for here and integrate, you can't get it freely from here. So so let me just go to the site per se. And since it was a template, I want to build like a real estate website, right? And I just use this template because I like the way it looks and it may resonate with what I'm trying to do. So I'll just go in and begin to edit it out of the box. So at this bottom right here, you can see edit site. For some other templates, you see edit site up here. So you just click edit site. And right now, I'm already 50% done with my home page using content management system CMS. The beauty of this is that at the back end somewhere, there are some HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that's just giving space for me to, instead of me to start typing and refreshing. And please note, I'm not discrediting HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you want to be a standard web designer and developer, you must learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I learned it, right? But even if I don't use it most of the times, there are some times even in this CMS builders, there are some things you will need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to be able to achieve some specific tasks. So I just want to get that out of the way. So right now, I'm just building it the way I want it. So real homes, the best for kings, right? Okay, this is just the heading. This is the Instagram. Let's say I want to add my Instagram handle. I'll just slash, okay, demotivate world, right? And I just click this. So when I launch this and someone clicks here, it takes them to my Instagram, right? I've done that. And then I don't want October find. I want real homes here. Real homes, right? Looking good. And I don't want this image. I just want, I want to replace this image. I want something that has to be house. Click select image and open VAS. Like I told you, open VAS are people who have come to create free stuffs and then just put it out there for everyone to access for free, right? That's open source, right? So these are beautiful real estate houses, and I would like to pick one of these for my home page. So I'll just go with this guy looking right here. So that's insert, and then automatically it changes to this, okay, which is fair, okay. And then this is going down. This is latest articles. I can just add content to this and say online, right? Latest articles online, right? And then I can just scroll down, and I can also, the same way, I can add content, edit content, just like I showed you. And then this is already looking pretty good, right? This is just a quick illustration. And even right here, I can add something else which is not on this home page. First of all, I would like to add a space so that it's not crunchy. So I'll just click space right here. So a spacer comes in. So I click the spacer and it has added a space. Then I'll hover under it again and it brings me the plus button. And let's say I have blogs posted, for instance. These are posts right here. So let's say all of this, he died for you. What exactly is Google Lens? I've already created this blog content, this post at the back end, right? like I showed you, there's a backend here. You can see post also here. You can see add new, right? So I'm just showing you an instance of that. So you'll just see a blank, black and white template where you can add new posts, right? So let's just say post. So let's say I've added posts and I've created posts and I just want them to just lounge on my home page. So I can just say posts, right? Also slowing us too. Okay, so this is the instance. You can just add title. Let's say I want to make a new post. Let's say web dad. And then let's say I want to add text. I can just pick up text from this is the best online. I can just click next, hover this, and let's say add images. I can also I can upload from my system, right? Right? And images usually make your blog content or your post look neat, right? And then I can just scroll down and I can just keep typing, and that's how all of that works. And then I'll just click publish, and then it adds to my stream of content. So this is what CMS basically is all about. You can just automate the processes. You can come down and create stuffs like this. You can add so many stuffs. I can even add a template of frequently asked questions, which is FAQ, right? Right? Okay. So this is what you can do. And then I'll just click save when I'm done. And then all these are added up to the website. So with this, you're not limited in time and space, whatever it may be, right? So I'll just visit my site now. Right? So this is what the site looks like out of the box. See the frequently asked question template. See? So with this, you can actually speed up your web design and development process, and this is how I built my own website, Demotivate World, here. Although it was done with the WordPress.org. And you can see that this website is pretty standard, right? And I've integrated a plugin that allows my social media posts to just, anytime I just post on social media, it comes here automatically. So many of the processes are automated. So this is what you can do basically with CMS. So I think with this, we've come to the end of the illustrations, right? And showing you how monetizable it is, the potentials, how many domain names are available for you to work with, the tools that are available to work with, how fast you can be. It's obvious that the market is open and it's fresh and it's available for anyone who just has a system and has a desire.